What Alexandra Eala will do at the Australian Open in 2026 for the very first time. After enjoying a stellar year on the WTA Tour, Alexandra Eala will look to carry her excellent form into 2026. The Filipina, 20, first became a known quantity on the tour when she defeated Madison Keys and Iga Swiatek on her way to the Miami Open semifinals. In September, Eala won her first WTA title in Guadalajara. By doing so, Eala became the first Filipino to achieve this milestone. Her excellent season continued to roll on, and she later became the first Filipina to break into the WTA top 50. This month, Eala continued to shine, becoming the first Filipina since 1999 to win the women's singles event at the Southeast Asian Games. After achieving success in Asia, Coco Gauff and Victoria Mboko congratulated the 20-year-old, as did a Filipino sporting legend. Eala remains one of the best young singles players on the WTA Tour, and she is set to play in her first Australian Open main draw in January. Alexandra Eala is set to play doubles at the Australian Open as a professional player for the first time in her career. A number of well-known players from the WTA Tour can be found on the entry list for the Australian Open Women's Doubles Tournament, which was released publicly on Tuesday. One of those players is Alexandra Eala, who is set to compete in the Australian Open Women's Doubles Tournament for the first time in her career. Eala is paired with Brazilian player Ingrid Martins. At 29 years old, Martins has won 4 ITF singles titles. In doubles, the Brazilian has won 2 WTA Tour titles, the 2023 Bad Homburg Open and the 2024 Merida Open. Martins has also won 4 doubles titles at the WTA Challenger level and 11 ITF doubles titles. As for Eala, she has a history of success in doubles. As a junior player, she won 2 Grand Slam doubles titles, the 2020 Australian Open and the 2021 French Open. As a professional, Eala has played doubles events at 2 Grand Slam tournaments. Eala reached the second round of the 2025 French Open Women's Doubles Tournament. A month later, she lost in the first round at Wimbledon. Victoria Mboko is set to play with an American star. Victoria Mboko is another young star who has enjoyed a breakout year on the WTA Tour, winning her maiden WTA Tour title at the Canadian Open. In 2026, the Canadian is set to kick things off in Australia by playing alongside Iva Jovic in the Australian Open Women's Doubles event. Jovic is another young American star who has rapidly climbed the WTA ranks over the past year. The sun had barely risen over Melbourne Park when Alexandra Eala stepped onto the cracked blue surface of Rod Laver Arena for the first time in her life as an Australian Open competitor. The morning chill was sharp against her skin, but inside her chest, her heart burned with that familiar flame, hungry, hopeful, determined. It was January 2026, and the world had already begun to take notice of the quiet storm from the Philippines. Alexandra wasn't just another rising star, she was a force of nature, blending fierce athleticism with a thoughtful mind and a heart that carried the dreams of millions. Arrival, new horizons, new challenges. Alexandra's journey to Melbourne had been one of transformation. After breaking into the higher levels of the WTA, she'd spent the off-season training harder than ever, mastering her forehand, sharpening her serve, and finding deeper layers of mental strength. But nothing could quite prepare her for the scale and intensity of a Grand Slam like the Australian Open. If her first Grand Slam appearance had been a whisper, this one was a roar. The city greeted her with tropical warmth and baking asphalt. Fans from Japan, Australia, China, Europe, the Middle East, and the Americas crowded the precincts, waving flags and trading tennis stories like currency. The energy was intoxicating. For Alexandra, it felt like everyone had come not just to watch tennis, but to witness a new era. Training days, rhythm, and resolve. Each day before play began, Alexandra arrived early to practice courts bathed in golden light. Her coach, known for patience and precision, paced behind her, offering measured advice. "Relax your wrist on the backhand," he said one morning after a crisp rally. "Stay focused on the ball, not the point," he reminded her another day amid grunts and thumps of the rhythm pounding down from strings meeting leather. But on the outside, Alexandra looked serene. Her ponytail swung like a pendulum, calm, confident, consistent. She knew this wasn't just about skill, it was about presence. The arena was vast, but her mind stayed clear. She was here to perform, but also to enjoy. First match, a passionate ballet. The draw had placed Alexandra against a seasoned top 50 player, someone with years of Grand Slam experience. Before the match, commentators buzzed with curiosity. Could the young Filipina surprise the veteran? The moment the first serve left Alexandra's racket, she was poetry in motion, toe-tapping on her heels, sprinting for wide balls with charging grace, striking winners with the confidence of a lioness pouncing on dawn's first light. The match was a ballet of grit and strategy. At times, Alexandra appeared to dance across the court, lighter than tension, freer than expectation. At other moments, she grounded herself like ancient roots, hitting passing shots so precise they seemed to bend time. The crowd didn't just watch, they felt her presence. This match wasn't simply won or lost, it was experienced. 3 sets of breathtaking rallies, astonishing saves, and moments where both players seemed to transcend pressure. Alexandra won. Melbourne Park erupted. In that electric moment, she realized, this wasn't just her debut, it was her declaration. Second round, poise under pressure. Now in the second round, Alexandra faced an opponent known for powerful serves and blistering ground strokes. Few expected a repeat of her opening upset, but Alexandra believed in the quiet magic she had begun to weave. The second match was different. It was turbulence and calm in alternating waves. She lost the first set narrowly, letting frustration creep in like fog. But deep inside, she remembered what she'd learned. Tennis is not about perfection, it's about returning to belief. With each point, her confidence reassembled itself, measured breath, one shot at a time. She attacked the net with renewed aggression, mixed up slices and lobs with sharper intention, and fought for every point like a warrior poet. At match point, she hit an inside-out forehand that painted the line, a signature play that seemed to announce her arrival not just as a contender, but as a creator of unforgettable moments. Third round, a giant slaying constellation. By the time the third round arrived, world press had begun to write her name with a reverent edge. Watch the young phenom. She plays with wisdom beyond her years. A new star rising out of the East. Her third opponent was seeded, a player with titles, respect, history. The match drew an even larger crowd. Thousands stood, phones raised like modern-day torches. Alexandra entered the arena with steady calm. She didn't just walk onto the court, she owned it like a stage set for her performance. Throughout the match, she produced rallies that became lessons in poise and precision. Long backhands turned into winners. Defensive slides became opportunities for attack.